Emma's Universe podcast. Emma's Universe podcast. Emma's Universe podcast. Hello and welcome to Emma's podcast. So in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about, this is a very interesting topic actually, dancing with uncertainty, learning to move with life's unknowns. So imagine music is playing in a room, the rhythm changes suddenly, and yet the dancer keeps moving. What if life uncertainty wasn't chaos, but music asking us to dance differently? Have you ever asked that question? So embracing uncertainty as movement, not paralysis. Yes. Have you ever noticed if you're on a dance floor and if you go to a club or if you have a family reunion and everybody's playing music, the rhythm between every song is different. If you go to a concert, you can go from extremely fast music to slow. But people don't stop in the middle. They still adapt to the music and dance. So why are we not able to do that in our lives? Why are we thinking it's a chaos when we go into the unknown? So we're going to explore this topic right now. The fear of the unknown. And I talk quite often about the unknown and how much paralysis fear we have in regards of the unknown. Because we need to explore why uncertainty feels threatened. Maybe a lack of control, fear of mistakes. It's not, and it's one of the things, it's not being predictable, so we don't know where we're going. It's uncomfortable because we're used to have structures. So when you got structures and all of a sudden none, then I would say majority of people are on edge when there is no structures. And you get a portion of it, you're looking at entrepreneurs, if you're looking at office, creator, people who use their imagination, where it's like, yay, let's have fun because we're going to create something different. We are not going to continue on the path we are, but we're going to explore. Yes. See, like, I want to take an example, when someone losing their job, but eventually finding an unexpected new path. Often, and I've been there, okay, when a job or contract ends, but it's like, okay, what's next? What I'm going to do next? But if you work for a company and you give, put your heart and soul into the work and you're dedicated and you're so excited, and then one day they give you the pink slip. Now I think it's the green folder. It's not the pink slip, but the green folder. And they say, well, we're sorry, we have to let you go. So your world, who was fully structured, become allegedly a chaos. You go on your survival mode. You have no idea, where it's going to end up. So you're going to noodle the process to find a new job, apply for benefits, ensuring that, you continue to pay everything. So you're going into the unknown. But that path actually can give you the opportunity to change the direction where you're going. It's an opportunity in disguise. Meaning maybe you are an assistant somewhere and you want to become a lead. Then it's an opportunity for you to shift and apply for jobs that have a lead position instead than an assistant position. See where I'm going? You go and you move up. You don't have to look in the same industry. You can change industry or you can completely change job as well. that is possible. Everything is possible. The only thing that stops us to do it is the fear, is the loss of your bearings because you're so used to have so much control of everything. And I'm not going to say dictating everything, but just everything that, your routine, basically. That's basically throwing your routine a big curve. So it's how do you handle it? The unknown is not empty. It's full of unseen possibilities. When we're able to really refocus and say, okay, I lost a job that freaking stings for a minute here. Now, what I'm going to be able to do? And I did that in a few times that happened to me, to really look at what direction I was taking and move to an entire direction that I would have never thought about. But this is part of the journey. This is part of what opportunity do I have? You have people who go back to school. They're going to take a job and they're going to have the opportunity to go back to school to learn something different. This is the opportunity to change the direction of your life. Now it's up to you to take it or not. That is up to you. But those possibilities are right on the front of you. Now, let's talk about learning the dance. Because one thing we need to do out of everything is, like I said at the beginning, when you have or you go to a concert or you go and you hear music, even at home, when you turn on the radio or you put it YouTube or you put it Spotify or Apple or whatever, and let's say you randomly play music, then you're randomly going to be changing the way you're dancing and moving based on the rhythm of the song. Well, this is how and what we should be doing in our life. We should steps for dancing with uncertainty. Yes, we're going to introduce you to those steps for dancing with uncertainty. One of the biggest things, and I think it's a very big life lesson, and I said it several times actually, you need to release control. You need to release the micromanaging because you have to learn to become flexible. Flexibility is one of the key. Not everything must be rigidly planned. I know some people who have to know every minute of the day what they are supposed to do. They want their structure so narrowed down that doesn't leave room to breathe, to have that flexibility. Evolving, growing, moving, especially in time of uncertainty or where we're in a trials or tribulation, the flexibility helps us to navigate those times, even in good times. You can navigate those good times even better. Learn more stuff when you become more flexible. The other one is curiosity. Yes. Asking, what can this teach me? Instead of, why me? There is no why me here. It's we're in a big university of life here. This is our playground. The universe is our playground. This world is our playground. And this is where we have to become curious. We have to be curious, like a kid. Come back in the shoes of when you were a kid and you started to explore. What can I do? How I'm going to go? And you do it one step at a time. Stop projecting yourself in the future. Start to bring back Armageddon at the front door. Be present. Right here, right now. Focusing on one step at a time. When I was working with Dr. Michael, actually, that was over a year ago, and putting myself back where together after everything imploded in my life. I never started to look at the bigger picture of what was needed to be done because it would have been so overwhelming. Instead, I focused on what was on the front of me and what I needed to deal with. One step at a time, one moment at a time. this was one of the best things I did. And I knew I had a lot coming my way, but I'm like, one step at a time. I cannot deal with everything, but I'm going to work on that. And then when this is done, I'm going to work on the next one and on the next one and the next one. We used to work on overnight a few decades ago. That was part of, I had two jobs. One, it was a part-time job at night, just for the heck of it, which was kind of fun actually to do it. And I had somebody that came, and a nice person, except when he was going on the floor and he saw the disaster on the floor, he would literally freak out. So he spent his energy to have a meltdown because the floor looks like crap. Literally, that area looked like crap. It was the end of the day. So people would come and purchase and nobody put it back together. So at night you had to do that. And I had to teach him. He was in awe when I started teaching that. So I walked the floor with him and I said, this is what I do on overnight. I said, I don't care how bad it looks here. I'm going to start with this section right here. I'm going to start to wash it. I'm going to take care of it, blah, 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 replenish. And I'm going to move to this section. And after I'm done with this section, I'm going to do that section right here. By the time I'm done, all of the back wall sections were done. I said, I don't look around like you do. I look at what is my next step. Focus on what you have in front of you. Don't look at everything else because you're going to waste your energy. I have a meltdown, and you're not going to move forward. You're not going to take one step further because it's not happening. Okay? So you have to stay focused and look at what you got. Don't look at the overall disaster. Just look at one step. And when you start to make the improvement, you're going to see how things going to work out as well. So let's talk about like a little metaphor. We're going to talk about jazz improvisation because I love jazz. Jazz is great. And when you listen to jazz players, they improv a lot. And if you go to a concert like Harry Connick Jr., one of the best concerts I've been was with Harry Connick Jr. because his band was phenomenal. So even though he had his songs, he allowed those guys to improv too. And it was just beautiful. And it was full improvisation. So life invites us to play along even when the tune changes. It is true. It always yet as an invitation. Yes. Life is never going to be a one tune at all. It's going to be slow. It's going to be fast. It's going to be rock and roll. It's going to be classical. It can be any genre of music in your life at any given time. And we're invited to change the way we dance. That's part of the growth. That's part of who we are becoming. And that's what people maybe could be feel the scariest one as well. Because again, when you don't feel in control, then you feel like the end of the world is at my front door, which is not true. It's an invitation to let go of what you have learned. You know, when we're children, we could play outside, that was us Gen X, play outside late. And we had then we go back home, and there was a structure at home, same at school. And we started to learn how to go, learn how to behave, learn to do everything we had to do in life. But when opportunity comes, when you learn all of the skill sets, then we start to move into the world where things are changing and moving and evolving very quickly, then we need to be flexible to adapt to situation. And that's what chaos invites us. That's what uncertainty invites us. It's to adapt to the changes and start to basically become flexible. No, it's not easy because when you learn structure, to go from structure to none, most people will have a hard time. But when you start to become more flexible, then those changes are not that bad at all. You adapt. Maybe it's a bumpy ride. That's okay. But you got this. So I'm going to ask you to think of one area where uncertainty could become opportunity in your life. It could be maybe a job, maybe it could be professional, it could be personal. Which one it is? And think about it. Because we have those opportunities, and why not seizing them? Seriously. Yes, I know, knowing our routine, being in the middle of our routine, it feels better, it feels safer, but this is all an illusion at the end of the day. So, think about what can you, or how you can become a little bit more flexible in your life. You don't have to be completely flexible everywhere, but you can make at least one little thing that can help you to be flexible and see how it works. You have to let it go of the grip. That's the hardest part of it. Uncertainty provide us those opportunities to make changes. A lot of people have gone through trials and tribulation, uncertain time, came out even better than the beginning because they adapt to the flow. And we can all do that. So the rhythm of resilience. Let's talk about a little bit of the resilience as a rhythm. The ability to keep moving despite disruptions. And you have that. Even take it if you're working on a project at home or at work. We do have that. We do have a disruption that can happen during the day. Maybe you have your boss who's asking you to do a report when you're in the middle of a deadline and you're like, holy crap, I got these to deal with right now. So, it's becoming flexible, changing, evolving. This is why I like the style of agile. If people don't know what agile is, waterfall is when somebody's telling you we're going to go this way and you follow the road. You don't deviate from it. Agile is more, we got a project, let's put it together, let's see what works, what doesn't work. We have iteration, we have what we call backlogs, and you can start a project. Within the projects, you can start some tasks within that project at the same time. In waterfall, you follow the road. That means you cannot start the project, you cannot start a task until that task is done. That's how it works. So I like Agile because you can find solution and get things quicker by working in Agile. But again, it's how you have to see life. When you feel the disruptions in your life, how do you act? Are you flexible enough to ground yourself and see what solution there is in front of you, or are you just want to keep the structure you have? Are you allowing the universe to bring you better solution than you've got? There is always people will teach us that uncertainty is awesome because you get people who embrace uncertainty. I do embrace uncertainty, and you can uncover a deeper calling. You can change your life for the better when you go into the unknown. And I know it's scary for most people because we've been taught structure. We have not been taught to think outside of some of the structure unless your parents have been doing that for a long time. Like if you're looking at entrepreneurs, their kids could be entrepreneurs very easily because they have learned that. They have learned uncertainty. They have learned things that most structure doesn't allow. We should teach actually leadership and at a young age for the kids, because I can guarantee we will have such a better result in our lives because kids have great ideas. But when you got too much structures that basically, I'm going to use the word kill that opportunity for kids to let their imagination go, be creative, doing things that we need in this world. So it is impressive when you're looking at people who go through uncertainty and come out of it in a different way. That is beautiful. But you don't need to know every step. This is the key. You just need the courage to keep moving. Like I said, and I said it earlier, When you're dealing with uncertainty, deal with what you got in front of you. Like I was explaining to this individual when he wanted to work on overnight, and I showed him what he was supposed to do. But when he looked at the floor, he started to freak out. And I'm like, no, look at this, focus on what you're supposed to do. Don't worry about anything else. The bigger picture, don't worry about it. This is just an illusion for 5 minutes. Same thing here. Same thing when I was working with Dr. Michael. I didn't look at the bigger things. I just focused on what needed to be done for me right away. One step after another. And you have to keep the courage to keep moving, even if you don't see any transformation. Because I think this is the hardest part of everything else in our lives. It's seeing the transformation, seeing the result, seeing everything moving into the pace and the space where we need to be. So that is the biggest things as well. So keep moving forward. Things will unfold the way it's supposed to do. Again, you don't need to know the bigger picture, because you need to understand every step you do, and it depends on which direction you're going to go. The results will be different. Your goal will be different. So you cannot have the bigger picture yet until you're there. But if you're at the beginning, you're not going to see it. It all depends which direction you're going to go. So I will invite you to close your eyes for a sec. Again, if you're driving, please don't do that. Imagine the music shifting and now allowing you to dance with it in your mind. Okay, so you're going to listen to music, and you can listen all in your head. Imagine you're listening to music to maybe a slow dance, and then it's going to move to more jazzy funk. And see and allow yourself to dance to that transition. That will make you understand that when things happen in our lives, we need to do the same. We need to encourage ourselves to really that when things are changing and pacing, and we do that every day without realizing it, it's only where we're being impacted by big changes, then we lose ourselves in there. We do that at home. We do that at work. When things are changing, we do that every day. When things are changing, let's say you go to work and everything is calm, everything is good, and all of a sudden there is chaos, and we adapt to the chaos. We do that every day. So we need to be able to apply this to our own life and circumstances. Uncertainty is not your enemy. It is the rhythm of growth. Trust your feet. The dance is already within you. It is. You will be surprised when you start to adapt that to where you need to be, that you already had it within you. You might never use it, or you use it at work and it's different or smaller level, then start to apply this to your life in general. You will be surprised the result. You will be surprised where you're going to be in 6 months if you do that. Take that leap of faith and not being afraid of uncertainty, not being afraid of the unknown. The unknown is your friend, actually. Uncertainty is your friend. You're navigating and learning to be flexible. You're expanding your perception on life. You're expanding your life in a way that is unbelievable. So why not being able to really embrace who you truly are? You got nothing to lose, everything to win. So think about it. Think about what you can do to become more flexible and what is chaotic in your life, what is the unknown, and let it go, let it flow. Everything will turn out the way it's supposed for the best part of it for you. So this was our podcast for today. Yes, it is, and it's a Wednesday. Yippee-ki-yay. Take a leap of faith with the unknown and don't be afraid of it. Embrace it as a friend who's going to lead you into a wild ride that you would have never thought you were able to do. You will surprise yourself. A lot of people, when they start their business, are, they're excited. But within 6 months, they are looking back and amazed of what they have done, and would have never believed they were capable to do what they are doing, but they went into the unknown, took a leap of faith, and believed. So, all my love, guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.
Universe Podcast. Universe Podcast.